Hi class, this is Dita. I'm actually in Jason Thomas's paper, and I'm going to go over the research design. I think he did a pretty good job with this because I want to show you how the research design syncs up then with the milestones. Okay, so we've got Jason here, and he's exploring putting together a neighborhood bar here in Colorado Springs. So good stuff. But so he's primarily taking a look at exploratory research designs here. And so you'll notice how cleanly he broke this out, okay? So the first research design, and this is what I'd like for you to do as well. This is a great model. The first research design is to explore, using this design strategy will be to explore the customer segmentation and demographic. The researcher will use primary and secondary research to explain segmentation used to identify target market, blah, 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 blah. Now, second research strategy will be to explore the macro environment or the PESTLE to include summary of trends. Okay, so in order to complete this research, the researcher will review each of the 5 PESTLE processes and review blah, blah, blah. So he's telling me exactly what he's doing here, okay? The third research strategy will be to explore the business models in a competitive analysis. So he's telling me specifically what he's doing here. Now, there's 3 very specific things, 3 very specific research strategies, okay, and he's using exploratory. Now, if I go back and I take a look at his objectives, I mean, he has tons of objectives here, but sorry if I'm getting you dizzy. I should have paused it. Okay, objective 3, 2, 1. All right, objective 1 will be to complete a little bit more. Okay, this is a date in capstone. Researcher will identify 3 primary personas. He's going to complete the persona power worksheet and copy the worksheet and embed it into his business plan. Fine. The objective number 2, customer segmentation and demographic. Remember what he said down in the research design? By March 12, 2015, explain segmentation used to identify target market, demographic. He's taken the information that's in his business research section, and now he's explaining what he's doing here, and now he's telling me specifically the actions that he's going to take. He should have come over here just a little bit. So explain the segmentation, provide information that quantifies, blah, blah. Then, and then the objective will be met when he actually completes this section in his small business development plan. Objective number 3, the macro environmental situation. By March 12th, the researcher will explore the macro environmental factors, how it could positively or negatively impact the business. And now look at this. Conduct research on political, conduct research on economic, conduct research on. Anytime you say conduct research on, that needs to be in your research design. Conduct research on. Okay, he's not talking to people here, but he is going to have to go out and do some research. And the reason why it's separated is because he's gonna design different kinds of sources. You know, process. It's a different process to explore political factors as opposed to economic factors, as opposed to social cultural factors. So those are actually very different kinds of research processes that he's going to do, as opposed to just saying the researcher will explore, you know, the pest or pestle. Well, they're very different kinds of processes. So he actually could say on such and such a date, he can line this out, and for 2 hours he explores the political, for 2 hours he explores the economic, for 2 hours social cultural. You see what I'm saying? He could break these down into very specific steps. Now, when we actually come here to the competitive analysis, so this is a major chunk of work to be done. Okay, he's going to explore the major competitors for him. And so he's going to conduct research on competitor number 1, research on competitor number 2. So basically, he's going to actually go to competitor number 1, and he has this process. This is a research design that he's actually going to go to their website. He's going to explore their website, and he's going to capture that information off of that specific website, and he's going to put that into his collection tool, whatever that is. I think he ended up using Google Forms to actually be able to put information down on for each of these competitors. Okay, so an example would be is that on Google Forms, he created a form to say what are the major products, okay, and services in terms of a question, and so he's answering it based off of competitor number one, and now he's tracking the specific products and services that competitor number one has. He may have a question number two, what are the range of prices for each of these product lines, so he could put the prices down. He could have another question that basically says where are the places, where are they located, both on and offline. And also what are the promotions. So he could actually capture the 4 P's within a Google form for each of the competitors, and then Google Forms will actually synthesize that data for him. So anyway, just kind of wanted to kind of go through this, the different business models. So conduct research on contractor self-employment, partnership self-employment. These are separate processes. So those actually have to be separated out in the research design section. It is very detailed oriented, but what I need to have, if you can have these very specific and then have this outline very specific in the research design section, very specifically what your process is going to be, then these two sections will come in really, they'll sync up very nicely. And then when we actually get to, close your eyes, I'm pausing. Great. So now when we actually get to Jason's timeline, you can't read it on here. He has this outlined in such detail. He had no trouble whatsoever in capstone of just nailing every single piece of activity that he needed to have done for his capstone. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. It's really worthy to do this. You're at the hardest part of the whole project. Out of the whole 16 weeks, this is where the rubber hits the road, is to really break down the research designs, what kind of a design is it, and to make sure that each design reflects one of these different kinds of milestones or objectives, or it reflects a specific kind of activity if it's different from the other activities there. Okay, so if you're going to use, essentially, if you're going to use a different process for each one of these steps, it's got to be a different design. Okay, hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. So the more specific, the better. All right, so one strategy, I guess I'll leave you at this, is that one strategy would be not worried, don't worry so much about the format, but just get out a piece of paper and just say, what are all the steps that I need to do in order to gather the information for my deliverable, and just start chunking out all of the activities that you need to do, all the steps that you need to do, and then start putting those into categories. And then from there, what would be the best research design, to fit that particular piece of activity that you need to do. All right, that may help you think about it as well. All right, let me know if you need any other help. Bye-bye.